Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. We are launching the Maxosat and we have liftoff. This is a test of our new launch stage called the Ike 5. The main difference between it and the Ike 4 is the use of solid rocket boosters for the booster stage, which brings down the cost, even though they're less efficient. And something burned up there right as the engines cut out. I think it was just the cameras because we're flying fine, and I go ahead and check, and yes, it is just the cameras. But like I said, the solid rocket boosters have now burned out, and we're using the liquid rocket booster, which is down the center. And yes, we're just boosting ourselves into a nice orbit. This is just a simple payload delivery, though we are going to be using this launch stage a lot in the future, I hope, because it really cheapens up space travel, and we might be able to start making a profit. So now we're on to the second stage, and we're circularizing our orbit. And it looks like this is going to be a direct burn orbit. Basically, it's a single burn and you're in a circular orbit, whereas usually in Kerbal you have to stop and then do a circularization burn. But we have a nice picture of our booster there, and we go ahead and deliver the payload. Now, that didn't make us a profit, but it got us closer, and I think that if I can carry up complete 2 contracts per mission, I will be making a profit, which means I can unhack myself. You might have noticed how much money I have down in the left-hand corner. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, we've modified our Moon 4 probe, and are making it into the Minmus 1 probe, and sticking on top of the Ike 5, except pulling off all the cameras that burned off because they were kind of pointless. But anyway, we are ready for liftoff, and we have liftoff. Liftoff, kind of repeated myself there. But anyway, we are on our way to orbit with the Minmus 1, using the liquid booster, or liquid engine on the booster now, booster stage. About halfway through the fuel, halfway now. And yes, this thing is hard to steer, and it likes high orbits because, well, you don't really get a chance to turn until the solid rocket boosters burn out. There you can see the sun with various planets around it. Very nice shot there, thanks to Distant Object Enhancer. And we're ready to circularize. Actually, it might not be planets that I'm seeing there. It could be actual orbital debris that I've left up from other missions. As you can see, there's plenty of orbital debris. But anyway, we are preparing to intercept, and it turns out we actually get to do it on the first orbit around, so we don't have to hibernate our craft. So I go ahead and wake it up, and we try to move the fuel, because it turns out the LV909 is not the most efficient engine I have. In fact, the second stage engine is more efficient, so I was trying to get fuel onto the second stage, but I think it's better than starting manned that doesn't allow crossfeed until later on in the game. So yes, I'm doomed to use the inferior LV909. No, it's not really inferior. It's actually kind of nice, because it's low profile and would help with landing if we were attempting a landing, which we're not. So, yeah, it's kind of pointless. But anyway, we're doing our plane change there. I actually use the RCS instead of the liquid rocket, just to, you know, use up the less efficient fuel and save the rest for actually getting into orbit of Minmus, which I actually just decide against, and I get a little bit closer to it. And then we just go ahead and fly over it on an escape trajectory, and take pictures and do all the science that can be done. Yes, or at least done on a suborbital trajectory. But we go ahead, decelerate, or we're going to decelerate. Yeah, we're basically just going to have a second attempt at rendezvousing with, or not rendezvousing, getting into orbit of Minmus, because I want to do a more efficient one. But that will be about 30 days in the future, so we go ahead and use Kerbal Alarm Clock so we can go fly some other missions, like Moon 5. Yes, we have liftoff, And you might notice I spelled moon like moon instead of mun. I spelled mun in the Kerbal system. But anyway, ignore that. We are taking it to orbit. Again, with the hard to steer, inefficient Ike 5. Yes, I can't wait till I get SAS. This smart ASS is nice, but once I have SAS units, it will basically be obsolete because SAS just does a much better job. And yes, you can see either planets or no, I think those are definitely debris that I can see in the camera. But we get into a nice circular orbit, and we take it out to just the moon, not Minmus this time. And we're going to go ahead and do some more science. And as you can see, or might have seen, this probe now has the more efficient engine from the second stage on it, instead of the LV909. And there you can see we're getting a nice close. There's the engine. Yes, the only problem is it's taller than the LV909, which, like I said earlier, is only a problem if you're attempting to land. Which we're not doing, right? Actually, yes, we are going to attempt landing, because originally I was just going to orbit, but then I realized that why wouldn't I just land? So I fly around, hibernate on the way around, just to save power. And we get here, we turn everything back on, and we're flying like crazy because I'm out of monoprop. Yes, so the only thing I have is engine gimbling, which basically means I have zero control while the engine's off, and as we approach the ground, kaboom! Yes, not the best landing attempt, but we got some science out of it. But anyway, it's time to launch another rocket, and this is basically the exact same rocket. Well, it is, except for the name. This is the Kerbal 1, or Kerbal 1. Because it's going into orbit of the Sun. Yes, this is our first deliberate or purposely built Sun probe. Moon 1 went out to the Sun, but of course it ran out of battery before it even made it to the Moon. So yes, this is the first time we're taking a live craft out there, and it is supposed to actually come back and return all of its beautiful data to us. And this is probably going to be a very long duration mission, unless I want to do really aggressive burns, which, well, I don't. I want to be efficient. This rocket isn't even made to go out past the moon, so, yeah, we probably want to be very efficient. Which is kind of a nice thing, because we get a, well, gravity assist from the moon. As you can see, we are only actually accelerated out a little bit past the moon, but when we fly past the moon, and with just a little bit of acceleration from our engine, we actually get an escape trajectory. So this is actually a very efficient flight path. Now, if only there was a way I could have plotted to also intercept Minmus and saved even more fuel. No, I'm not going to go through all that effort. But we plot a return course there, and while we're waiting for that maneuver node, we get all of our interesting science about the Sun and the Kerbal system, and how amazing, well, Kerbal is. But we now have an intercept in about 90 days, so you're probably not going to see this probe for quite a few episodes. But anyway, I'm Con Hathy. Thanks for watching. Bye.